Hello my friends, it's Krebs here, and we're going to be trying out the War Thunder 1.33 dev server. How frustrating is this? I literally just recorded the entire episode of going through all the dev server changes, including doing some games for you guys. And then I figured that my microphone didn't record. How frustrating is that? This stuff always happens to me whenever I go onto a new PC or reformat my computer. FML guys. But I'm gonna have to start again. But that's fine because I can summarize pretty much everything that I was saying previously, make it a lot quicker, which is probably good for you guys in the end. So, alright, dev server. It is up and running at the moment. I need to make a video on how to do this in a few easy steps. I could make a video in literally just 1 minute length of how to do it. It's very easy, guys. I'll do it probably as one of the coming videos. But what we're gonna be doing is focusing on all these changes that they've done in the new patch. And are we going to be doing any flyouts in this episode? I don't think we will. I think what we're going to be doing in this one is just talking about those changes. And in the next ones, we're going to be going into individual planes, alright? Okay, so in the description box below, I've included the patch notes. And what I'm going to do is literally just read from these patch notes, going through all of them and showing you the changes in the game itself, alright? Okay, so starting from top to bottom, we've got new aircraft. There are a whole boatload of aircraft they have added to the game. It's quite a bit, but what they have focused on mainly is higher tier planes and lower tier ones. There's not really that much in the middle. So anyone who's stuck in the middle, well, I'm sorry for you. You're probably not going to get a whole lot of love. And there are planes for the USSR, Britain, and USA. So there are no planes for the Germans and also the Japanese, especially the poor old Japanese who have like nothing. Nothing anyway. But then again, last patch they already got something, so they got love then. They're not getting any love now. USSR got stuff in the last patch, so they got love last patch. They're getting some more love this patch, but because, you know, hey, they're Russian, they're allowed to, right? Okay, so let's focus on some of the USSR planes. They've added a total of 6 new freaking planes to the game for the USSR. You have, for example, the Lag 3-8, the Lag 3-11, 2 low tier planes, and I'm not sure if you can hear that ambulance outside. There we go, it's gone. 2 low tier planes for all of you USSR players. What are they like? Well, generally speaking, if you just look at them, they're pretty much just like the Lag 335. And actually, one thing that comes to note, and that doesn't really make sense to me, is how is it that... Okay, this isn't starting to build up. My argument isn't building up anymore. I was going to say that... a lower tier plane has better characteristics than a higher tier one. But that doesn't make sense at the moment. I think we have to go out into one of these other ones. It's another example I'll show you where a lower tier plane is better than a higher tier one. It doesn't really make sense to me. But they're essentially like the Lag 335. In terms of armaments, Lag 335 is what? Better? In terms of, yeah, flight characteristics look better to me. Yeah, in pretty much every single way. They've also added some other planes, the LA-537 over here, including the LA-5F and eventually the LA-5FN. The LA-5FN we have already, but the LA-5 and LA-5F are new ones that have been added to the game. Again, what are they like? Just like the LA-5FN, but worse in terms of flight characteristics here, as you can see. Just comparing them all, alright? Just comparing them all. It's expected, a higher tier plane would have better flight characteristics, and this is actually really confusing me right now, because the first time I did this video, they actually had worse characteristics. I don't know if it's something to do with the modifications, and I have a feeling it might be, but that was really weird. Okay, whatever. Whatever, just completely ignore what Krebs is saying at the moment. The higher tier plane is the better one. It does not defy logic. There's also an infamous plane that has been added to the game, the Yak-9 Kick-Ass, alright? A lot of people have been kind of iffy about this one being added, and for the simple reason, because of its armament, the 45mm NS-45 cannon. Okay, just for that reason alone, people were going a bit crazy. Was it gonna be like a Yak-9T, but 2 times as worse? That nobody knew. But having flown out with it, it's not a problem. Okay, you'll see it more when we go on to the actual episode itself when we're flying out with this plane. but it's honestly just like the Yak 9 troll, okay? It fires as fast as it. It has almost the same ammo capacity, but think of it like this: the Yak 9 troll doesn't always get a one-shot kill, but it can get one-shot kills, and the Yak 9 Kick-Ass does pretty much the same sort of thing as well. It doesn't always get one-shot kills, but it can as well if it wants to. So essentially it's almost like the same sort of plane, and I don't really see it, I don't think it's really valid for everyone in the War Thunder community to start panicking like, oh my god, the game balance is broken because of a 45mm cannon. It's not broken. I mean, okay, let's look at what else it has. Turn time is atrocious. Rate of climb isn't the best. I mean, come on, you're gonna be able to kill this if you really try. But that's another interesting point. We'll get onto it in a second here about these, turn times and stuff like that. Another plane that they added is the Yak 17, which is a jet fighter. I don't know what to compare this to. Unfortunately, I'm not at the jet age, as you can see. I'm still at the propeller age. And it feels like Age of Empires right now. It feels like, yes, I'm in the Stone Age. I still haven't upgraded into the Feudal Age. I haven't gone to the Iron Age yet, Haven't gotten to the Jet Age yet, so I don't know what to compare it to, and unfortunately I can't give any advice on it. But if you are enthusiastic on your jets, and you can't be bothered going out to the dev server, here are the stats in front of your screen. Mind you that these are not the optimal stats for the actual plane, okay? Now we're going to head on over to the Britons, as 06 for the USSR. The Brits get this Vampire. The Vampire. Look at it in its full beauty. It just reminds me like the Americans, where is it? P-38. It has that sort of same structure, doesn't it? Except it has a jet on it. And you know what's really crazy about it? I don't know my jets, but look at the max speed on it. Oh my gosh, it's over 1,000. It's over 1,000! Kilometers an hour. That is your reference from Dragon Ball Z right there. It's over 9,000, but whatever. It's over 1,000 kilometers an hour, which is absolutely insane. I'm pretty sure that has to be the fastest plane in the game. Has to be. Ooh, that Saber was really close, but this one's still faster. That's crazy stuff. Mental. Even though you have an unconventional design, you're still a fast plane. Right, for the USA, they have a total of 6 planes as well. We'll start from the premium, I guess. They've got the addition of the BTD-1 destroyer, which is a naval bomber / torpedo bomber. I'm not excited about it because it's a torpedo bomber or a naval bomber. It's slow, okay? Look at its max speed. Not great. Turn time, not great. Rate of climb, not great. It's just going to be like a swordfish or any plane. What's another good example? Like the Stuka, the Ju-87 for the Germans. As soon as you lose altitude, it's hard to gain it again. So it sort of suffers in that aspect. I'm not really excited about it. Especially as a person who likes to collect premium planes. Not excited at all. But whatever. It has 2 20mm cannons, and these are powerful cannons as well. They're the same ones as on the XP-50, so if you are lucky, you can actually kill a number of planes with it, as long as you're not too frontal with it. Just defend, maybe go for some bombers if you can even catch up to them, that is. But it has the same armaments as the XP-50, which is very powerful. If you don't have the XP-50, it'd be like the F4U-1C, minus 2 cannons. The F4U-1C has 4, whereas this one has 2. They've also added in some other planes over here. So they've added in the Bearcat. This has to take the award for the best name in the game for a plane. I mean, the Bearcat. Seriously. It's like a fusion of animals. You could just imagine like a bear and a cat come together and just makes this. You have to wonder what the people... Is a Bearcat actually a real animal? That's what I want to know. Is a Bearcat a real animal? It sort of reminds me of like South Park, Man Bear Pig. It's the Bearcat. The Bearcat. I don't know, you could just focus on that name and just keep on saying it, because it just, I don't know, it's just epicness is awesome. But in terms of flight characteristics, don't know much about it. It seems decently fast. Kind of reminds me a little bit of the Typhoon, just looking at the paper stats. You look at the Browning machine guns on the original version, and then eventually at the higher one, it gets cannons, just like the Typhoon Mark 1A and the 1B. Sort of like that. Does it fly like those ones? I couldn't even tell you exactly. Couldn't even tell you because the paper stats don't actually reflect what it's like in the real game, right? So those are other two. They've also added in a upgraded version of the Thunderbolt. Hello, Mr. Upgraded Thunderbolts. This was originally released in the 1.31 dev server, but then they took it out as soon as 1.31 came out, along with the upgraded Mustang. Upgraded Mustang still isn't here yet. But essentially what it is, it's the exact same thing as the Thunderbolt, but a bit more agile. I've flown it already, and it's still like that. It's like sluggish, but you get a bit more speed, so to say. Your turning isn't as bad as the normal Thunderbolt. But that's what it is, okay? They've also added in the Shooting Star. Awesome looking jet. We can go take a look at it. Looks very modern, kind of past its... It looks almost like a modern jet in a way. Obviously, you know, not as smooth as a modern jet, but kind of looks ahead of its time, doesn't it? It looks absolutely awesome. Shooting Star. Doesn't have an awesome name though, but whatever. That's just what it's called. And I think there might be one more. Here we go. Another jet. The F9 F5 Panther. Okay. So another jet that I can't comment on. Expensive to get. But then again, not as bad as it would have been before. They've done a number of changes, and I'm going to go through those changes right now. Including those aircraft that they have added. For the interface, they've completely modified some things. They've got this tab on the right over here, which displays the efficiency of your plane. So, as you can see, let's go on a better example. Just, I don't know, some British planes. Not you. I'm trying to look for a good example here. Okay, maybe not our British ones. Let's go on German planes. I choose you. Not the LA5 G2. I was hoping that we could have gotten a better example. There we go. Now it's loaded up. That's what I was looking for. These bars, all right? They've got these efficiency bars on the right-hand side that show you basically what they've done is they've changed the system with how planes work. Now you have to think of your plane, and they were explaining like this. You have to think of your plane as a battle-worn plane. It's not as if it was pristine condition when you first get it as a stock plane. It's battle-worn, it needs replacement parts, it's not going to be as efficient as if it just came off the factory line, okay? And that's how you should think of it. And what you do is when you go to your upgrades, there's this whole new upgrade screen, you're going to be getting all of these pieces here to slowly start improving your plane, okay? Now, they each do different things. And I would show you generally, you know, what they do. But to be honest, when you're speaking about them all as a collective, they kind of do near enough the same stuff. If you look at all the stats for them, you know, some of them will increase horsepower, but generally they will increase, you know, horsepower, health points, maximum speed, climb rate, virage time, reduced drag. Some of those, okay, depending on which part you're looking at. One of those. And it only improves your plane. It's not a balancing sort of factor. It's not like, oh, if I get this part, then this other part of my plane will suffer. It's not like that. Every part you get improves your plane. There is no drawbacks, okay? But at the same time, the only drawback that you do get is that if you do buy these more expensive parts, make your plane better, it increases the repair cost of when your plane gets destroyed, okay? Because you have newer parts, if you want to replace them, it costs more to actually do that. At the same time, they've reduced the price of planes by 30%, okay? So planes are now 30% cheaper, so sorry for all those people who have bought their planes in 1.31. You should have saved till 1.33 and hoped that it was going to get cheaper. Repair costs have been reduced by 10 to 20%. But you still are going to be spending quite a bit on repair costs if you upgrade your plane completely. Now, apart from that, if you notice the ammo racks over here, they've also completely modified this as well. What they've got is these stacks of ammo now. You're actually paying for your ammo per use, rather than just unlocking your belts and then you can use it for infinity and beyond. Now you're going to be paying per use, alright? So for example, if I go out into battle, I have, say my stealth ammo here, I've got 30 reloads, effectively, of full ammo. Think of it like that. So I can reload 30 times, and I'll be able to get full ammo from those reloads. And each of those reloads is 120 lions. So say if I ran out of reloads, I was 0 out of 30, and I wanted to get back up to 30, I would have to pay 120 lions times 30, which, quick math in my head, is 3,060. Okay, in order to get back all of that stealth ammo, all 30 rounds. But you're not going to be spending, you're not going to be reloading 30 times in one match. I highly doubt that. I imagine the maximum you would be using is probably just maybe 15 at the very, very maximum. Okay, so for people like me, that kind of sucks a little bit, because I like to make sure that I've always got full ammo whenever I go into an engagement. But now I might even have to think about, do I want to reload? I might waste money here. But to be honest, I'm probably even going to overlook that. I'm probably just going to reload anyway, because the price isn't a whole lot. It's 120 lions per reload, you know, whatever. Killing a plane will get you 3,000 or something lions, if not more. So it's no biggie. I'm sure you could easily make up for it. So that's the ammo belts, and notice how the stealth ammo is even more expensive than the other ones. I don't know how this makes sense. It's like the other ones have tracer rounds. You'd think if you had a shell that was like a composition, that it would cost more. Okay, but apparently, you know, stealth ammo costs more. It's the most effective one, and hence why the price is higher than usual. As you can see, these other ones are 80 lions, this one's 120. Another interesting feature that I noticed was this: the R1 suspensions allows you to install two 20mm MG151 cannons, which is interesting because the G2 and the F4s, they normally only have a single nose-mounted 20mm cannon. However, you could get two 20mm. Now, I've tried it out, and I was kind of a bit surprised. Nothing happened. I didn't get any cannons. I bought it, nothing happened. I'm not sure if you actually have to go somewhere and select them. Oh my gosh, I just answered my question right this very second. Yes! There is where you do it. Wow, okay, I want to take a look at this now. So there you go. You get these cannons right on your wings. I didn't know that. I did not know that. So now you can do that with all your planes. See, for example, with the 109s, you've got that. It's not all of your planes, it's just the ones that are applicable. You have to go to your secondary and then select those cannons. I couldn't find it anywhere before, and I was like, oh man, this sucks. Oh well, at least I'm giving you guys the good information now. But at the same time, look at what it does. All right, because I'm putting on more armaments, it's gonna affect my plane speed. Look at it. See, minus 20 kilometers per hour. Turn time is an extra plus 1 seconds. Rate of climb is slightly less. But I mean, that is that gonna really affect your plane? I mean, you're gonna be doing essentially double the damage output. Okay, it's not gonna be as accurate as a nose-mounted machine, as a nose-mounted cannon, but you're gonna be essentially doing double the damage output. So I imagine I'd be going out with this. I'd have to see. I'd honestly have to see what it'd be like. Oh wow. Oh wow. That's really cool. Gonna have to try it, but we'll do that once we get into those actual episodes of flying out the planes. That'll be fun. That'll be a lot of fun. So that's what they've done with the modifications. Also, what can happen is if your plane doesn't have those upgrades, so maybe the Japanese will be a good example. If your planes don't have some of these upgrades, god damn it, I need a new plane. I need a brand new plane. Maybe my Fokker Wolf? Okay, it's not coming together. Basically what happens if you buy a brand new plane, and oh god, there will be it will be. Here we go. This will be it here. There we go. That's what I'm trying to say. When you buy a brand new plane, you have the option of spending golden eagles to actually just automatically get that part, okay? You can use a talisman to level up your aircraft faster, get 100% extra XP over time, or you can just outright buy it with golden eagles, okay? But to be fair, I'd probably recommend just continuing to level on. I mean, it's 150 golden eagles for one part. You're gonna be spending a lot of golden eagles to just fully upgrade a plane when, you know, give it about 10 games, and you'll have a number of these parts available to you, alright? How much is this tier 4 stuff? Holy moly! Okay, I think I kind of understand what they're doing now. 730,000 aircraft XP to get the best stuff. Wow. Okay, I'm understanding where they're going. They're really upping up. They're really increasing that aircraft XP. Because remember before, it would take you like 10 games and you could just get the modifications that you need, like an extra engine or polish the fuselage. Now, you really have to level up your plane. Get that XP if you want to get all those good buffs. Or unless you spend Golden Eagles to just outright buff it. Man, talk about milking. Milking every single portion of the game you're trying to. I don't know, I'm not sure if I'm fond of it. I mean, a game has to make money, but when you have so many things that are... I don't know. I'm gonna be neutral about it at the moment. I'll debate about it later. I don't want to think about it too much right now. I want you guys to keep on listening to this episode, not a debate. Alright, so apart from that, what other changes have they done? Let me take a look down my list of thingies. My list of patch notes. You guys are probably going to be able to read this as well. Here we go. Crew that took part in a battle are now blocked in the game for 5 minutes after quitting the battle, or until the battle ends if it ends earlier. That will prevent players from leaving the battle. Alright, so you can't just go into a match and be like, oh my god, I just died instantly, I'm gonna rage and quit, and then expect to jump into another one. It doesn't happen. You have to stay in that match, unless you want to jump out with a different faction. Okay? You can't just use that same faction, it won't work. You have a 5-minute lockdown. Alright? Looking over the patch notes, healing speed skill has been changed. Okay, so let's go on over to our qualifications. Ground service, there used to be a healing skill over here. And I think that was a bit of a funny one. I think what it did was it made your guys in bombers, or anytime you had a turret, if a crew member became unconscious, then they would be able to come out of that coma state quicker and then start fighting again. The more that this was leveled up, the healing skill. However, now it's been replaced by a weapon maintenance skill, the armorer's skill. Increases efficiency of the aircraft weaponry, reduces the overheating speed of primary weapons as well as spread of bombs and rockets. That is awesome. I think that is going to be a really, really useful ability. A really useful ability, in fact. Just when you can reduce the overheating speed, I mean, does that not scream to anyone like, yes, Yak Nitro, spam the NS-37. Spam that 37mm. Yes, why not? So that is another change that they've added to the game. No air kills will be rewarded for air collisions. Alright. Economy, planes are 30% cheaper, 10-20% cheaper on repairs. Repair cost of aircraft tier 11 to 18 has been lowered even further, so economy is better for you guys. But then you have to buy ammo racks, you have to get the modifications, and then the modifications are more expensive if you want to repair planes. Flight model changes, damage model changes. Here's another good one. For certain bombers on the list, and you'll see that list of bombers on the patch notes. Basically, what would happen in 1.31 is if you shot out the pilot, that was it. That they were dead if you killed that one pilot. Now you have to kill both pilots before the plane is out of service, okay? So it's not going to be like, oh, I shoot you and you're instantly dead. It's not like that anymore. You have to shoot out both pilots before that happens. Flame protection and modeling simulation is added. After fire outbreak in the engine area, the pilot is not injured while this fire seal is whole. 20 seconds. Okay, so my pilot stays alive whilst there's a fire going all around him. With the Browning machine guns, 12.7mm, apparently there's some sort of change. They have new shell types. The old ones got their own names. So they have like M1 incendiary bullet, M23 incendiary, blah blah blah, and so on and so forth. But it doesn't say anything about if they've been buffed in terms of damage output. Some people have been saying that in the games that I went out and like, oh, the 50 cal bullets are better now. I don't know if that's just because they're different, like they're just different types, or if they're good, they got a buff. No idea. Additional weapons, Germans, and is it USA, I think, have rockets now on their planes. Bug fixes, new features, new pilot models, maps and missions. Yeah, that's pretty much it. You know, they've done a little bit of balancing with certain maps. They've added third airfields to certain maps to make it more so that there's a point of contention. They've changed the spawns to make it a bit more balanced. But that's pretty much it in terms of changes. They've also done one more thing here. If we go to game options and then interface, you can change your crosshair to make it look different. If that's what you really want to do, if you were so disturbed by your crosshair before, now you can change it. But that pretty much just summarizes what they've been doing. And actually there is one more thing. I keep on remembering. Decals. Let's go over to the hangar. Now, no decal. There we go. Now, they actually are charging for decals, alright? You can either unlock them the normal way, you know, from doing these achievements. So, ground target units destroyed. I have to kill 300 still. That's going to be absolutely impossible because I almost never kill ground targets. Or you can just buy them, you know, 200 golden eagles a pop, which is quite expensive. It could really add up over time. So you don't have all of the ones that you had previously unlocked unless you do these achievements or you spend the golden eagles on them. Still need to get my closed beta test participants badge. I didn't do alpha test. Still need to get my closed beta, but who knows when that's gonna happen? Absolutely no idea. But yeah, that's pretty much it. When we go into actual battles in the top left, I think that's where it is. The stats, like the airspeed and stuff, look slightly different. But that's the patch for you guys. What I have to do next is actually show you some gameplay footage, but we're going to do that in a separate video. So, alright, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Actually, wait, hold on. We're not done. One more thing that came to my mind. Now when you get to the achievement screen, when you actually finish a battle, and you don't have a premium account, you get the option to automatically buy a week's premium, alright? And then get that bonus, okay? As if you had the premium. So if you ever get a match where you get a random million lion trophy, you know, it's a lottery chance to win that, and you say to yourself, oh my gosh, I just won 1,000,000 credits just randomly. Thank you, Gaijin. I got no kills in the game. I was the worst player, but thank you for rewarding me a 1,000,000 lion trophy. I'm gonna go buy 1 week premium so I can make it a 1.5 million trophy. You know, good job, Gaijin. You're just trying to cash in on it every single way possible. It's a free-to-play game. They have to make money somehow, I guess. But I'm going to stay neutral. So, we're going to do some actual show-off of the planes in separate episodes. I hope you enjoyed this. And until that next episode, this is Krebs and I'll catch you all later.